What's going on, guys? Arden back with no quarter, back with a podcast. We finally got to record this. We're obviously going to be talking about the Los Angeles tournament and then whatever the heck the future holds because we have no idea right now. But we're going to be talking about Los Angeles and what our thoughts were about the matches and our predictions from the last podcast. If you haven't seen it, the link will be down below. You need to watch it before you watch this one. There's two of them. One is us talking about previous tournaments that had happened because we didn't have a podcast before those started. So go back and watch, especially the one with predictions and all that, and what our thoughts are going to be about this tournament. So, starting with match one, it was Minnesota and Seattle.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a little more out of Seattle, but Seattle did sub out Enable for Pander,
Which was, I don't know. Before we get into that, what is your thought on Enable getting subbed out like that? Was it too hasty, or do you think Enable was a problem?
See, with that team, it's hard to say what the problem is just because they're all superstars. That's what I don't understand about that team.
I think it's more about chemistry. And maybe Enable just doesn't work well with other team members. And what I mean by that is maybe like his thought process doesn't align up very well when other guys are running. So like the direction he chooses to go on different maps maybe didn't align with how other players were rotating. So either they double stack when they didn't need to, or he was, an odd man out when he didn't need to be, or something. Right. Maybe it has something to do with that, because I don't think Enable's not a bad player.
No, not at all.
I've always liked Enable.
Yeah. And I think that's what's hard about this team is because, like, if you pick any player to sub out, you're subbing out like a previous champion or like great player with anybody. Yeah, I mean, you have Octane, Karma, Enable. Who else is on that? Apathy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's their fifth?
Pander.
Pander's their sub, and who's their fifth? Why can't I think?
They got Octane, Karma, Slacked, Pander.
Slacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, who do you? It's hard to make a decision on who you sub, but I think they did need to do something, and I think they attempted to do that with Pander.
Well, it was Slacked, right? Slack was the one that came in for Enable, right?
No.
No, Pander, which one was it? Pander came in. Okay, yeah, Pander came in. Well, Slacked was their worst hardpoint player.
Yeah.
I mean, just in kills alone, I mean, he was a good 8-9 kills below the next best player, something like that. That's your SMG that they're running, and they run Apathy as an SMG as well. Apathy absolutely obliterates people. Dude's got 94 kills in hardpoint over the course of that weekend compared right now to Slacked 75. That was bad. Pander came in with 84 on the flex, so that was pretty good. Maybe Slack needs to go.
yeah. See, when I looked at that roster and I was like, okay, I didn't know about subbing Enable. I figured subbing Slacked out would be better.
Yeah. I gotta remember what. Maybe they just don't have a sub that runs the kind of gun that they need them to run.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to get into their heads with that. It does seem like Seattle is just, if the Roker are like the most disappointing team to watch right now compared to how like good they've played against some teams and how shitty they've played against others, then the second most disappointing team right now for me is Seattle, because I feel 100%. Like there's Octane. I mean, last year Octane was incredible. Karma is a champion. And, Slacked, Apathy, I know those dudes are great. Pander, I don't know much about. But it's like, I know these dudes are good. It's funny because when you see a team like that struggles, you're confused as to why.
Yeah, it's hard to put to be like, okay, this is their problem, this is what they need. I know one of their problems is search and destroy. Like their search and destroy is terrible, but like that's it. That's you can't just put a nail on it and be like, this is their problem. If they did great at this, or this person is the problem. If they subbed him out, then the whole team would change. It's hard to put. It's hard to put like a hammer on the nail on that one.
Yeah, that like it seems like Florida and Seattle are like some of the worst S&D teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, they struggle in S&D. They don't necessarily have that dominant of a hardpoint. They're a very middle of the road hardpoint team, which leaves only domination left to win anything. So if you're 50-50 on your hardpoints, what was the final score of that match?
It was 3-1 Minnesota.
3-1. Which one did Seattle win?
That's what I was about to try to see. Let me find it.
I'm trying to remember myself. But I mean, just from the stats that I'm just reviewing right now, they had an overachieving domination. My belief is that they won their DOMs, but they have a very middle of the road hard point, and their S&D struggles a lot. So
they actually won the search and destroy.
They won the search, so they won in their worst category, and then they went well. When you get beat down in domination, that's not good. That's technically their strength.
Yeah, I think bringing Pander in, because Pander came from the search and destroy community. I'm almost positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think bringing him in, especially like for search, really helped them.
Yeah. I mean, it just comes all the way back to what is he better than Enable?
Yeah,
like
it's hard to say right now.
Yeah, that's just where I keep coming back to over and over again. Is he better than Enable? And I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But I think that match I think we both picked Minnesota to win that. We both agree that Minnesota is a very, very good team.
Yeah, it's like Minnesota. Like I said, Minnesota is like the best team that doesn't win anything. It seems like when you push FaZe as hard as you do, like as hard as they did in Atlanta, the only team to actually come out and say like, you know what, FaZe, I'm not scared of you. I'm actually we're gonna go out. We're actually gonna punch you straight in the teeth. And FaZe kind of backpedaled a little bit before they absolutely came back with authority. But I mean, FaZe lost later in this tournament to Minnesota. So it's like, and then they lose to a team that they shouldn't lose to in the very next round, and they don't go to the championship. It's like, oh no, they lost. The Roker lost to Dallas. Is that what the final was?
Yes.
Yeah. So they like, how do you beat FaZe and then lose to Dallas? Like I think we can agree that Dallas is good. Dallas, isn't like, when you think of the top tier teams, right? You're thinking about FaZe, and you're thinking about the Huntsmen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Everybody else is just sort of fighting for that middle ground right now. And more often than not, it feels like they shoot, like the Roker will just shoot up on some Call of Duty steroids. They'll just like have a shot of game fuel before they go out there and absolutely obliterate, and then they'll lose to a team they shouldn't.
Yep.
You can't go out and beat FaZe and then lose to Dallas. So I don't know. We'll get into that a little bit later, but Minnesota, I predicted they would beat Seattle going into this. I can't remember what my score was. I think I gave them a 3-1. I think you gave them a 3-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the Roker is sort of that top tier. I'd put them as like my 4th or 5th best team in the league.
Yeah, right now in the standings, they're 4th behind the 3 that have won tournaments: FaZe, Chicago, and Dallas. So
yeah, but Seattle wasn't even in Atlanta.
No.
So it's just another one of those things where it's just like you've had like 3 straight weeks without Seattle.
Yeah,
and it's like we hadn't seen Seattle since, what was it, London? We haven't seen Seattle since London, and then they miss Atlanta, and then they show up, and I think they won their. Did they lose to? They lost to Optic. They got 2-0'd, right? They lost. They went 0-2.
No, they beat
Who did
the
they beat?
Gorillas
Oh,
later
they
on
did. Oh, yeah. Okay,
in the
never
loser
mind. They didn't
bracket.
lose. Yeah, I was thinking of the wrong LA. So they beat. So they beat the Gorillas.
Yeah,
They didn't. Yeah. Well, everybody beats the Gorillas. All right. Let's talk about the
yeah.
next matchup.
All right, and let's see. We actually skipped the first match, which was first match of the day on day one was FaZe versus Florida Mutineers.
Yeah. Well, as much as I want the Mutineers to win, they ain't gonna win that one.
No, and I definitely you could definitely tell because I actually rewatched this match today because I was planning on watching some before we started this, and
Mhm.
I watched this match, and it was kind of close except in the search, and you can tell that Pristini was missed. So
Oh yeah.
Pharaoh came in for Pristini, and don't get me wrong, Pharaoh's a good player, but he's definitely not as good as Pristini.
No.
And
No.
it
Not even
wasn't
close.
it wasn't that Pristini got subbed out because he was playing bad. It was some kind of family reasons. They haven't.
There
He
is a lot
hasn't.
of things. Somebody said he got arrested. Somebody said he had a mental thing with the family. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's who
nobody
knows, but
has said like
he
what
was
the heck
absent.
happened. Yeah,
What's the point? And
and no.
Pharaoh did all right, but I felt like the emotion wasn't there.
Yeah,
Like Pristini's that young Clayster, if you will. I'm not going to compare him to Clayster in terms of gun skill, but he's like the guy with attitude,
yeah.
right? So he's going to be the guy that gets up and yell, and
He's
then
the
you can
guy
just
who
piggyback off of that guy.
he's the guy who you can tell like he wants to win and he has something to prove.
Then he hates his brother, but we can tell those three
No,
things.
he just wants to beat his brother.
Well, I mean, to think about it, man, he's just the underling,
Yeah,
dude. His brother's been around for so long, and he's been the top of the game. And then people say like he only gets into the league because of his brother, and now he separates. Here you go, man.
yeah. Now
What can you do?
he's proved himself. Me personally, I think
Uh,
he's proved himself.
I don't think he's proved himself yet, but I was very happy to see him get to the finals in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I was all for that. I was all for it. But like I tell you what, man, it's Call of Duty is just one of those games where a team can have a bad day and the better team doesn't always necessarily win. So like
yeah.
I'm as much as I like the Mutineers and I want the Mutineers to win, I'm not going to sit here and explain or try to explain that they're better than the Huntsmen. They're they're not. But
Right.
if Pristini is just going to play pissed off against them every single freaking time, they got a chance.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. And I think that's what happened in Atlanta with Pristini. I think he just played mad and he just wanted to win so
oh, he
bad,
wanted it.
and he went off in Atlanta. I can't remember what game it was. He went on like a 15 kill streak, and like the dude couldn't be stopped.
I'm not going to lie, though, dude. Like, when we're talking about Florida and I look at numbers at a Pharaoh, he was one of their best players, dude.
Yeah.
He had the second most kills of the team in hard points.
Was it behind the skies? Is that right?
Yes, behind Skies. Skies had 120. Pharaoh comes in with 102. But like that, Mox comes in with 72 kills. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's one thing I remember from watching the match today. Mox did not show up to play
no, he
in
did
LA.
show up to play. And it's going to get into a topic that you and I should cover at some point. Is that how many good players does it take to make a COD team?
Oh yeah.
So we'll get to that topic at some point. I really want to talk about that. But yeah, like that was horrendous. That was a horrendous series out of Mox, just
Yeah.
all around. Like he didn't do good in the S&D either.
But then again,
Uh,
you are playing FaZe in this first matchup, so
true, true. It's like,
which
but it's one of those things, man. It's like I feel like the phase factor of it is where they did miss Pristini.
yeah.
Is because you got to go in there ready to kick their teeth in, dude. You can't like. I feel like they just came out flat. It's the first game of the tourney. It's early in
Mm,
the morning. Nobody's in the stands,
yep.
and you're playing the best team in the game, the team that you just 3-0'd you in the last event, and you're missing like literally the hype man.
Yep. I think
So
they didn't have the energy to play this match, and it was just
no, and it's like, as much as I think that Pharaoh actually like comparing like sort of if I were to go back and compare Pristini's stats to like what Pharaoh did from Atlanta versus LA, I'm pretty sure I'd find them relatively comparable. The only problem is like is that soul factor, that hype factor, that go get it factor, that I'm gonna it's like I'm winning this and I don't care who sees it kind of attitude that I was missing. And Pharaoh just, I mean, I couldn't tell which one he was in the chairs. So
Yeah.
Pristini's like, oh, it's the guy standing up yelling. I don't know which one Pharaoh is.
Yeah. Pharaoh, he doesn't have any energy. I don't think. I don't think I've ever seen him like get hype or even smile.
It's a certain
really.
kind of person though does that. These are professionals at this point. Where the stereotype of kids getting up and screaming and yelling at other players and stuff like that. You don't see that on the main stage as much unless your name is Scumpy or Pristini or like a Clayster or something like that. Everybody else usually just sits down, drinks their G Fuel, and moves on.
Yeah. But that was the first match of the day. That one, I think everybody expected Florida to come out and get destroyed.
I think I gave them a 3-1. I didn't want them to get 3-0 though, and that is definitely what happened.
Yeah, the search and destroy wasn't even close. It was 6-1.
6. Yeah, that was.
I don't think FaZe will get beat in search just because their search game is just way too good.
I'd be willing to put money on that, dude. They will. Like it's just I have, it's a theory, right? It's the 100 Thieves, right? It's just like 100 Thieves in Black Ops 4 were just the team to beat. It was an unstoppable freight train that just rolled through everyone. And then at the very end of COD Champs, you get EU coming in with Clayster and winning. Yeah. Like, I think just the more weeks we can get in, if we can actually get in weeks at this point, but the more time these guys play, the more these dudes are just going to adapt to certain maps, and that stuff's going to get, you're going to see another team win COD Champs. I don't think FaZe wins COD Champs.
Yeah. We'll see about that though. Later.
Yep. If we can get there.
Yeah, if it happens, we'll
seriously.
See. But let's see. Next match. Let me get back to my dang screen here. Next match was the Minnesota-Seattle, and we just talked about that one.
Yep.
The match after that was Dallas and New York, and New York subbed Happy for 0.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was another roster that I thought, okay, y'all need to do something also.
They did it. I thought Happy was good.
Yeah, Happy looked amazing. Personally, I think he was better than 0.
Oh, he wasn't even the best on their team though, too. Like his hardpoint was the worst of his team in hardpoints. He did. He held his end of the bargain. They got a really good S&D. He did good, and he held his own in the S&D games. Happy was not very good at domination. We'll say that. Yeah. But I feel like Happy came in like these clutch moments. I think he had a 3-piece in one of the searches, especially in the early game. That like all of a sudden you just woke up and you found out, it's like, oh, Happy's in and he's actually decent at this game.
Yeah.
But how about New York, man? I didn't expect New York to actually like play that well. Maybe it's been a while. I mean, it has been a while. It's like you look at him, it's accuracy, attach, temp, Zuma. These are names we know, dude.
Yeah.
Another team that's not in Atlanta.
Yeah. I was personally disappointed in New York because they didn't win. Mm-mm. They won 2 maps the whole tournament.
I thought I think they're much better than that, though.
Oh,
I think they're so much better than that.
They should be with the players that they have. I don't know. When they announced that team, I was like, okay, that team should be really good.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I
And
was just like, oh wow. I was like, I did not give Florida or New York any credit coming out. I was just like, nah,
yeah,
that ain't gonna happen. And my prediction was right, but it was right for the wrong reason. I thought they sucked. No, they've got talent. Their just talent just doesn't mesh very well.
yeah, and I would be so mad if I was Zuma because Zuma has showed that he is really good at this game, and yet his team has not proven it.
Yeah,
And
Zuma's legit.
yeah, and
And
I
this
would be so mad if I was him because
honestly, I feel like I haven't really heard Zuma's name since Black Ops 4. Or no,
yeah,
excuse me, Black Ops 3. No, maybe it was I'm just gonna name all the games till I get to it. Infinite Warfare. I felt like Zuma was good in Infinite Warfare.
hmm
And then I don't remember hearing his name last year.
yeah, he wasn't outstanding at Black Ops 4. I mean, he also at the beginning of the season didn't even make the league because you
Mm,
remember FaZe didn't even qualify last
this is
year.
true.
They
This
bought
is
their
true.
way into the league. They purchased
And
some
how
team I
well
don't
that ended
remember.
up being.
Yeah,
What a
exactly.
good investment that was.
But I don't. New York is just they needed a change. They made a change. Happy played well, but they still didn't win.
No, they didn't.
So,
Maybe they can borrow one of the Rokers subs. I think they've got like 50 of them.
well, Toronto has a full 10-man squad. They need to borrow from them.
That's true. That too. I think Brack is on one of those
Yeah,
squads.
he's on Toronto.
Yeah, it's like I'd love to see Brack play in a game somewhere for gosh sake.
I want Brack to play just because that's my dude.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, yeah, a former Midnight
Former,
Gaming guy, and like
yeah.
I just liked Brack when he played for Midnight, just
Oh
when
yeah,
all of that was going down. And like I remember in Black Ops 4 when Brack, I think he got traded to LG.
yep,
And I remember in COD Champs, I was like, I got LG winning, guys. And I think LG got like to the quarters or something like that. And
yeah,
it was that Brack substitution, I think, for Gunless.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
man, somebody needs to trade for Brack, man. That man needs a
yeah,
shot.
or at least Toronto needs to put him in their starting lineup.
True.
But yeah, so the New York and Dallas matchup was just New York came
Dallas
out
is just too
and
good.
yeah, New York came out and won the first hard point, which I think people were a little surprised with, and then Dallas just came back and well,
And it's
they were
funny because Dallas is like, but look at the stats on Dallas's hardpoint stuff, man. They're all good, dude. But it's
yeah,
Dallas. Hey, 3 dudes get almost like essentially every player on Dallas got over 200 kills in hardpoints. It's the
yeah,
most kills by any team in hardpoint the entire tournament.
yep,
The most kills of any team in hardpoint came out of Dallas. Those guys wreck in hardpoint.
yep. And I even said it when we did the previous podcast. I said if Dallas wants to win, Shotzi and Illy gotta show up, and they showed up.
Finally,
I was very proud.
yeah, it's Shotzi. Damn it,
Yeah,
dude.
He didn't do his 7 and 34 like he did.
I know. It's like they would have kicked him out of that arena if that had happened, dude. That is that we'll just
Oh
play
yeah,
with 4.
yeah,
As he's just feeding them, dude.
yeah. And they showed up to play, but
Yeah, they played well. They
yeah,
played well too. It's just
I
like
think
this comes to one of those questions though that I keep wanting to have a conversation on when we do. It's just like when you look at Dallas, right? You look at Clayster, Crim6, and Hook.
mhm.
I know those guys. But I mean Dallas did win the whole thing, so it's not like I can sit here and say Dallas sucks, but I still don't think they would have beat FaZe if FaZe gets there. I don't think they beat the
And
Huntsman either. So
well, they played FaZe later in the tournament and lost 3-0.
yeah, but Dallas got a
It's
second
just
shot.
it's just
FaZe did not get a
yeah,
second shot.
it's just that Dallas got lucky and didn't have to face him again because Minnesota beat them to get in the finals.
That's just one of the Call of Duty is confusing, dude. These tournaments got to change. the
Yeah.
scope of their
I
whole
don't.
thing. How could FaZe lose one time and be out, and Dallas lose one time and win the title?
Yeah,
I,
it's weird.
terrible.
Yeah, but let's talk about the next matchup, which was the marquee match of the day.
Ayo.
LA versus LA, the Gorillas versus Optic.
And how about fucking Optic Gaming,
Yeah.
dude? My God.
They did announce that they made a change, which their change was they put Dashy at a pure sub. He was running the flex like say they played Cave, he would run an AR in Cave, and they put
they kept
Dashy.
switching, yeah.
Yeah, he was running a flex where some games he would run an M4 and some he'd be an MP5, and they switched him to be just pure MP5.
I'm okay with that. MP5 is, if we really think about what the MP5 is, the MP5 is just like a little less range assault rifle.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like what when you're going back and forth between, like, in my opinion, in Black Ops 4, like the Maddox and the ICR. The ICR will lock down those really long ranges, and then you have that middle range gun. That's the Maddox.
yep,
The MP5 is like a Maddox to me. It's got really good range, and it shoots really well.
yep.
It's got good recoil prediction, and then you have the M4, which is going to smoke people at longer ranges. And it can up close, but you'd rather have an MP5 for those gunfights. So I feel like MP5s just sort of rule the day, except on maybe like bigger S&D maps.
Yeah, and I think that was a very good decision in their part because if you look at Dashy's going to outslay anybody. Just
I
because
still say they need to trade him so that he can actually prevail in his. I pray for Dashy, dude.
Yeah, but so they switched him to that role, and
I mean, he absolutely crushed.
Yeah,
as he does.
But what was really surprising was it was a reverse sweep to even win this. So we got to talk about the Gorillas made a massive change. Over 60% of their roster was subbed out.
Well, they suck. They got to do something.
Yeah. Which this has to be a talking point about subbing Aches out. Aches is a veteran. He's your leader, and you sub him out. Granted, the last tournament he had like a 0.6 KD. He was like the worst KD of anybody in the league.
I didn't think he was on like the loser 5 or something like that. One of the worst 5 players.
Yeah, he has not played well. So they subbed out Aches, Saints, and Lacefield for Vivid, which I don't know who the hell that is. Spart, I don't know who the hell that is either.
Yeah, what a name.
And Blast. So I know Blast, obviously. He was previous Midnight Man.
I don't know, man. They took Optic to the brink.
Yeah.
And then we found out how good Optic can be when they actually, I don't know, try. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at the scores of this match, and the first hard point was 250 to 234. Gorillas took it. It's a close match. Gorillas took it. And then you look at the second one, the Search and Destroy, which was 6-5. Gorillas took that one also. And at this point, you're looking at Optic, and you're like, okay, they have to do something else because.
Well, no, they had them.
Yeah.
One rotation, one missed call.
Yeah,
on the S&D custom, one rotation on hardpoint custom or something like that. I mean, it's close, but
if you even look at their previous matches in previous tournaments and at Minnesota at launch weekend, all of their games were close. They just lost.
Yeah, well,
which is exactly showed in this matchup too. And then you come to the domination; they won 186 to 132.
I hate domination. Yeah,
yeah.
There should never be a score like that to end a game.
Yeah, it should go to 200 or 250 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they came out in the hard point. They won 250 to 186. And then the last search, they won 6-3. So it was like all of a sudden they're like, oh no, we're about to lose another match. And not get any points again. So we got to do something, and
they did something.
They reverse swept the Gorillas. I mean,
it freaking happened, dude. And they flipped that switch. So I was so happy to have called that. I think I had called the 3-2.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be like that. But yeah, I'm happy.
You did predict Optic to win that one.
I said, what did I say, dude? I was like, it's gotta happen.
Yeah.
At you cannot especially in LA, where I guess the last of the green wall still live. You know,
barely.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But I wanna get nostalgic on you though. Let's think about this. Let's close our eyes and think about this for a second, okay?
Okay.
When the reverse sweep was happening, and you started to hear the Optic chants in the crowd, did you not just start freaking out? Like how good that felt.
Yeah.
To hear that. When you start hearing Optic chants, and all of a sudden Optic's on a reverse sweep of the Gorillas, that I'm just like, oh my God, this is... I didn't know I could still feel this way about a team that's completely underachieved.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I mean, I knew it was... Okay, so this roster has a lot of 100 Thieves guys. Slasher, Kenny, JCap wasn't on.
Which you would think is 100
good. Thieves, but yeah. But if you take 100 Thieves from last year, 100 Thieves almost didn't make the league. They almost didn't qualify. And then they lost a lot during the beginning of the season. And then they brought in Priesta, and Priesta absolutely changed the team. And they started dominating. Yeah, and they had Crowder as their coach.
Yeah, they had Crowder, and Crowder's with FaZe.
Yep.
So, like, that's one of the first times, like, I much respect to TP for Optic Gaming and being the coach of Optic Gaming and stuff, because that dude's a great player and everything. But I had never valued a coach in Call of Duty until Crowder flipped 100 Thieves.
Yep.
The way their strategies, especially like on Search and Destroy, were just perfect.
Yeah. And you can even tell in Atlanta's Search and Destroy strategies too. I don't think Atlanta has lost a search this year.
And honestly, like, what is the same thing? It's Crowder, dude. It's just like, oh my God. It's like that.
The dude
he's
knows
the best
what he's
coach.
doing.
He's the best coach in the game. It's the only time I've actually valued a coach, other than somebody that just maybe gives statistics and thoughts. You know, it's like it's like whoever coaches LeBron, man. It's just like, he's gonna score his points. You just sit there and watch him. But I don't know. But yeah, it's like, it makes you wonder now, though, right? It's like they got 300 Thieves players. They get the Search and Destroy master from Optic Gaming and TJ Halley. You get Dashy, who was arguably the best player on Optic squad last year.
Oh, yeah.
And where are the wins?
Yeah.
Where did they go?
I think that Optic will turn out to be the 100 Thieves from last year. Ooh. I think I don't think they will be as dominant as 100 Thieves was, but I think they will definitely turn it around and start being.
I want to see that on a ticker line put underneath this podcast. It's like Arden predicts Optic Gaming next 100 Thieves. I want to see that hot take posted somewhere.
I think that they will turn it around, but I won't put money down on that statement.
So we're not going to bet on it.
We're not going to bet on it.
But it's a hot take for damn sure.
Yeah.
That's a bold strategy.
Yeah. Or at least I'm hoping that they can do something just because of the team that they have. I mean, they've got great players. They should do something.
They've got great players, honestly. It's just like, I've never been a huge TJ fan, but he fits
either.
He fits a purpose.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dashy's great. I miss JCaps being good.
Yeah.
You know what? Can we just reverse time and go back to Black Ops 2 JCap with an M8 and just watch him lock an entire side of the map down? Like, I miss that JCap. He's so far removed from that, it feels like.
Yeah. But
Dashy
surprisingly,
had a 5-piece
yeah,
last year, so I don't even need to talk about that. That dude's just a goat.
yeah. But so Optic finally won their first match there against the Gorillas, and I know people. I already saw it on Twitter and in the chat when I was watching this match. I specifically remember this. People were talking about how Optic didn't deserve to win that because Gorillas subbed their whole team pretty much.
I don't care.
Yeah, I was like,
Get
who
good.
cares? Yeah.
It's like I don't. It's like,
They're
hey,
like,
dude,
oh, they're playing with no names and Vivid and Spart. Like,
people are stupid, man.
I was like,
If you think having those other players in there would have won you that series, then why weren't they in there, dude? What are you taking a break? Do they
exactly.
need rest?
I was like, that was the Gorillas' decision. They did it, lost. It's their fault. I mean, you can't blame Optic for winning a match because somebody was subbed. That was the Gorillas' fault, not Optic's fault. Like,
exactly. That's that is that.
I remember seeing that in the chat when I was watching that match after Optic won. I was like, y'all are stupid.
That's like every person in the streams when Optic Gaming would play and they would call out which players were overrated out of the Optic team and stuff like that, just like the literal trolls and stuff from the previous years. And they're just like, they all of a sudden they were like, wait a minute, Optic's doing good. I gotta get in here and provide my retarded takes about how well, these teams subbed out all their players. Well, I didn't make them do that.
Yeah, exactly. Optic didn't make them do that. They did that. It's stupid. But going into the next match of Saturday was it was supposed to be a good match. It was Atlanta and Dallas. And Atlanta, but I have to say the matches were very, very close. The hard point was 250 to 241. So that was just like a 2-piece away from Dallas taking that pretty much. The search was on Piccadilly, and I'm pretty sure Simp dominated that map. I'm almost positive.
Simp dominates just about every map.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it was a 6-3, and then the domination was 149 to 139. So you look at the 3-0 and you're like, okay, FaZe dominated, but really they were kind of close, except for the search. So
not a care in the world out of FaZe, in my opinion. It doesn't matter how close it is. If they win, they win, and it's just a part of who they are. I think a 3-2 is reasonable out of Dallas, but nah, you like. Yeah. When we get to Roker, I'll start talking about being shocked.
Yeah, so Atlanta kind of took that one fairly easily, I'll say, but it wasn't like a one-sided affair. So they sent Dallas to the losers bracket, the second round of losers.
Mm-hmm.
And the match after that,
first round of losers should have been Florida against New York.
Yep, it was Florida and New York, and
my boys came through.
Florida came through 3-1, and that was after this match. I was like, okay, New York has to do something.
Yeah, they need a change.
Holy crap, they need to do something. I mean, they did sub Happy, and unfortunately, it didn't work.
Not the way they wanted. You can't lose to. Florida's like that team that nobody can understand. It's like they win a lot, but you expect to beat them. Yeah. And then when you don't, it's like, all right, time to fix the roster.
Yeah, because I'm looking at their map win percentage. They're literally at 50%. Florida is.
Yeah, that...
Literally exactly 50%. So
that's because they'll lose. They'll go to the losers bracket and then they'll win 2 more games.
Yeah,
they'll like get their average back up.
Yeah, Florida's they're a hard team to predict.
I don't want to play Florida in the losers bracket, man.
Yeah, that's where
they thrive there.
Yeah, But I mean, there wasn't really much to talk about other than New York. I think after that match, need to do something. Maybe just something else besides subbing a player in. Maybe give Doug Sensor Martin a chance.
I don't know. You think
Sub
he's?
him in.
I mean, after breaking up with his girlfriend all these months ago, I don't know if he's fully recovered yet.
I mean, I haven't seen him play in this game, so I don't know how he is.
It makes you. It's one of those things, right?
I
Just sitting up there on the bench while you see a team like the Gorillas sub in 3 new players and still lose.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you see like Sensor, like he's not gonna. When will he go in? Really? I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but at this point, does New York take a chance and do it? Because
I don't know how trades work in Call of Duty, dude.
I don't either. But how many? Let's see. Let me go to the standings here. New York.
But I mean, any of those 2 guys would light a spark. People like Sensor.
Yeah. People will cheer for him, I guarantee.
People will cheer for Sensor. It's like that's almost a crowd thing too. That's which is part of it. Well, I guess not right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So New York is dead last in the league right now.
Yeah, well, they've been on a bye, and they can't win a map. And I'm sitting here thinking that Optic Gaming was the problem. It's definitely them. It's definitely New York.
So I thought New York needs to make a change. Who knows what that change is, because you've got great players. So,
which is weird, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what the change would be for that team, but they got.
I don't know who their subs are. They need some sort of spark, man. Maybe they need a hype man.
Yeah, I mean, Sensor could be that hype man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a shouter. Yeah. He might be able to get up and spark something. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe give Sensor a chance. We can see.
I want to know what all these subs do. Are they getting paid?
Yeah,
they get a stream.
They get a salary. Yeah, pretty much.
I'm in the wrong biz, man.
Yeah, just be a sub, sit on the bench.
Yeah, just rack up streams.
But then, so the final match of Saturday was Minnesota and Optic took it 3-0.
Yeah, about that.
How the hell does that happen?
Obviously, they drugged Minnesota. Obviously. I mean, I want toxicology reports on all of the Roker players. How in the hell does Optic Gaming 3-0 you?
I don't.
Now, we've already had this conversation that we acknowledge every close game Optic has been in. They still lost those games. They still had to reverse sweep the Gorillas.
Yep.
To get there. No. You do not lose 3-0 to Optic Gaming.
Yeah.
And then what's worse is that right after we're done talking about that, they go on to beat FaZe.
Yeah, Minnesota does.
They're the most frustrating freaking team.
Yeah, they're so
in the
good,
history of Call of Duty.
But yeah, they lost to. I mean, granted, if Optic's that good with their Dashy changing to a sub, then okay. But I don't think that's it.
No, I can't give it to Optic. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna sit here and think, well, maybe Optic Gaming is really good. No. That's literally something you just want to smack out of your mind quickly and violently. You cannot sit here and legitimately tell me that Optic Gaming is one of the best teams in the CWL. That they go and they just 3-0 a team that goes on to beat FaZe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should look at it as, well, so we beat, like Dallas comes in, it's like, we beat the Mutineers to go on and they beat the Huntsmen. So obviously we're better than the Huntsman. We can't. It's like it's you can't go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right here, I am not. As it just shocks me. We're at that part of the tournament where I'm sitting here like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. Minnesota's hard to. They're really good, but yet, like, you can't lose to Optic 3-0 in your second round of winners. That's what this match
you can't.
was. Like,
because let's remember. I mean, let's before I go into this little sidebar here. Who do you think the best team in the CWL is?
FaZe.
Yes, I also think it's FaZe. I think it's FaZe hands down. The Roker in the last tournament almost took out FaZe.
Yeah.
In a 3-2 loss. And then they go to LA and they beat FaZe. They have punched the Giant in the mouth several freaking times, dude.
Minnesota's the only team that's been
Optic
close.
3-0?
Yeah.
Makes you want to God bless the people of Minnesota that are Call of Duty fans, man. It make me want to beat my head on a desk. I would be dumbfounded. I wouldn't know what to do.
That one, I don't understand that one. Maybe Optic got lucky. I don't know.
No, I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I think they were just. I think the Optic. I think the Let's Go Optic chants were in full swing. I think that after actually finally winning a series, they got some confidence and they carried that straight through the tournament and just said, you know what? We're at home. We get to sleep in our own beds at night. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
And they did. So kudos to Optic. I got to see it again before I actually buy into the green wall rebuild.
I'm with you on that.
But I'm not. God damn it, Minnesota. Yeah. Why do you frustrate me so much?
They're fourth in the league and they lost to Optic 3-0 like that. I mean, I don't know. They're another team that's like, you guys are good. What are you doing?
I don't think they've been on a bye though.
No, they haven't.
So they've got a tournament where they're literally going to pick up no points. So maybe they're probably not fourth. They might be like fifth or sixth.
Yeah.
All this time, the only team they play really well is FaZe.
Mm-hmm. It's like Minnesota knows what to do against FaZe and nobody else does.
Well, they got Cellulub's they've got God, now I'm forgetting his name. They've got the coach's playbook sitting in their laps. They're literally got the cheat sheet as to what FaZe is going to do. Maybe they spent hours watching 100 Thieves film trying to figure out how they rotate.
Yeah.
And now they understand. They're like in FaZe's head, dude. I think FaZe literally every time FaZe plays Minnesota, it's worth watching at this point. That's it doesn't matter how good everybody else is. It's just like, oh well, don't choke, FaZe. Don't choke. They 100% win this thing. They beat Dallas again, probably 3-1 if they make it to the final. I mean, Minnesota frustrates me.
Yeah, they're a difficult team, especially to cheer for.
It's hard to play Call of Duty in cold weather, you know?
Yeah. But so that was Saturday. We ended with a 3-0 Optic win on Saturday.
Yeah.
To hype us up for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, because everybody got real hype when when that happened. It's just like, honestly, I looked at it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear green until they lose. Essentially, at that point, I was like, I was so into the fandom of the green wall, the Let's Go Optic chance. I was sitting here, it's just like, all right, I'm all in. Let's go. Come on, prove them wrong, baby. Let's do it. And then they didn't. So that was kind of disappointing. That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, then that happened.
But then again, they and I hopefully you go into this match next. What was Sunday's Optic game?
Let's see. Sunday's Optic game. If my internet will work.
Because they lose the next one.
Yep. It was. Well, this was another thing we have brought up. It was. They played Minnesota again.
They played Minnesota again, and Minnesota came back and won it. Yeah, because Minnesota.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
I'm looking at the wrong one. That's Saturday. They played Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, yeah. Well, Dallas is good.
Yeah.
But
this is another
Dallas
talking
beats
point.
the Mutineers, and then Dallas plays Optic. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So
we'll go back to the first match on Sunday,
mm-hmm.
which was Seattle and the Gorillas. And Seattle 3-0'd the Gorillas.
Yeah. Well, the Gorillas got nothing, man. The Gorillas aren't even worth talking about right now. It's just Seattle, easy dub.
Yep. I think people thought that this match should be closer just because of how Seattle has been playing. But if you look at the freaking map, like each map, Seattle beat the Gorillas 250-79 in the first hardpoint.
Yeah, I remember watching that and then going and doing something and then coming back and then seeing the end of it like it was that boring to watch. That's one of those games where like Seattle pulls out a sniper or something like that at the very end of it because they're bored.
Yeah. So Seattle took care of business there with the first match of Sunday.
Easy peasy.
Easy, yeah. That one, I think that was what Seattle kind of needed.
Seattle's just a disappointing team too, but it seems like Seattle can make a climb here that they can actually get in the game. Like I have faith that Seattle can do something. I mean, Apathy, Slacked, Karma, Octane, these guys aren't losers. But maybe they just don't work very well together. I don't know. It's tough sledding right now for them. So
yeah, and then so that was the first match of Sunday. That was losers round 1 is what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then second match on Sunday was Dallas versus Florida.
Yeah, Dallas just takes care of business on that. I didn't have Florida going past that at all.
No, Dallas took care of business there and demolished them.
Yeah, it's a lack of Pristini, I think. Even though I will concede that their substitute did play well.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm willing to concede that Pharaoh was a legitimate player for them. Honestly, I don't think that Florida's team is all that great, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I call it. I'll be ready to admit it. Like Havoc, Frosty, Pharaoh, Mox, guys. These aren't those best players from the teams you're used to seeing in the finals, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you look at a team like Optic, and you see TJ and Dashy. Look at Dallas, you see Clayster and you see Krim, and then you Huntsman have Scumpy and Formal. You see all of these teams, and you're used to seeing those names in the finals.
Yeah.
And Florida has none of those things.
Yeah, the only thing that Florida has is they have a little bit of the Gen G crew from last year, and Gen G was really good. And
Gen G was good.
They came in second twice.
Mm-hmm.
They were runner-up twice in 2 tournaments, and they have Mox and Havoc was on Gen G. Is that the only? Pharaoh didn't even play in Black Ops 4.
Yeah, it's that they had a sub that didn't even play in the last COD.
Yeah, he was. I think he tried to play the amateur tournaments and didn't do very well. And I don't know. Florida's another team that kind of frustrates me.
They're fun to watch, though.
Yeah, they give it
Because
their
for
all.
some reason,
sure.
they just don't go down, dude. They're like Rocky.
Yeah.
Just get hit a lot, but they just don't go away.
Yeah, so they're a difficult team. They frustrate me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So the next matchup after the Florida and Dallas was Seattle and Minnesota. Seattle just came off of their 3-0 against the Gorillas.
Mm-hmm. Easy peasy.
And Minnesota just came from the night before getting smacked by Optic.
Yeah, they get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, so
they just come in to take care of absolute business against Seattle. It's just I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody that's going to sit here and say the Roker are going to lose to Seattle.
No.
Seattle hadn't earned it.
No, I need to see more from Seattle for me to cheer them on, pretty much.
Which is a shame, right? They got the 3-time.
Yeah,
chilling.
They got the GOAT. I mean, come on.
Karma's not the GOAT.
You don't think so?
I'll say it. Karma's not the GOAT. Karma's a great player that was on greater teams. In my opinion. I'm not scared to say it. I think Karma was probably the middle to bottom end player on the teams that won those championships. I'm not going to say he wasn't important. I'm not going to say he didn't play a role. I'm not going to say he can't get kills. But I am going to say that on the teams he's won on, he was most definitely not the best player on those teams.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
And right now, it's almost like they need him to be. It seems like it's like Octane and then Karma. And with Karma being sort of that second best player almost right now, I don't think he can carry that. He's the objective guy.
It's a toss-up between the second best player between Apathy and Karma.
Apathy,
right now.
Yeah. So I don't think he's the 3-time. He's got more rings than anybody and all that. Yes, he does. He had to get picked up after Nade shot left.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves here. I think Karma's good. I don't think he's this great player. So it's like having some old person past their prime on your football team, right? And you're sitting there, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe we had him. He's a Hall of Famer and stuff. And then you realize that like he's 3 times slower than he used to be and all that. Yeah. It's like I think the hype for Karma is a little overrated.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole team just needs to do something. Like they gotta do something. But then let's see. We get into the semifinals now. I believe. Yes. First round semifinals was Optic and Dallas, which no one thought Optic would even be at this
I
stage.
Definitely didn't.
Yeah, nobody did. But this is another thing that I hate about how this tournament is set up. At this point, Optic and Dallas. No.
Optic hadn't lost.
Optic hasn't lost. Dallas lost to FaZe.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas wins to go to the finals. Optic is out.
Optic is gone. And the green wall and the home team goes out on one game.
One loss.
Yep.
Which I think is so stupid. Like, at least...
Oh, it's more than stupid. It's horrendous.
At least play a second match against Dallas because Optic hasn't lost twice yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid to me. I don't understand it.
It's terrible. I don't know why they decided to do it except for maybe they're pressed for time. Because remember, they don't have 2 stages. They have 1 stage.
Yeah, and they don't have 4 separate streams and stuff like that.
Exactly. You can't just go off and watch a loser's bracket somewhere.
Yeah.
1 stage, one competition, 2 teams, that's it. That's all it's playing. So I feel like when they got to Sunday It's just like, all right, now it's single limb.
Yeah, I don't like it. I know a lot of people have been frustrated with it. I don't know. I haven't heard any thoughts about what the pros think of it.
I think the pros don't like it either, but
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anybody say it if they like it or don't like it. I'm sure they don't like it because if I was Optic, I'd be furious. Like, I haven't lost yet. Like, why am I going out on just one match? Like,
the Optic, Huntsman, you name it. There's been at least 2 times now that it's happened.
It happens in the next semifinals with Minnesota and Atlanta. Atlanta hasn't
Yeah.
lost. They lose to Minnesota and they're out.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
And then you get 2 losers.
Yeah.
Playing for the championship of LA, which is just simply ridiculous. But yeah. I mean, would you have sat there and with a straight face told me you would have been excited about an Optic Gaming FaZe final?
It's not like it used to be.
It's not the same Optic.
No.
FaZe deserved to be there, but it's like, when you're talking about teams that were eliminated, there's no way for really Dallas to get there and play FaZe.
Yeah.
At that point. And I don't know. It's just I'm just sitting here just thinking to myself, like, honestly, I didn't think there was anybody in that tournament that I was really looking forward to watching FaZe play against, except for maybe Minnesota, which ended up being a thing. That they beat them
in the semifinals. Yeah.
But
so that first match, Dallas Optic, dusted, done. Dallas took it 3-1. That was
easy,
kind of a given. But the next match was Minnesota and Atlanta, which was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a super fun match to watch.
Yeah, I remember these teams are gonna hate each other, man.
Yeah, because I remember it was the fourth map, because I'm looking at the scores. The fourth map was insane because it was 250 to 247. Super close, and Minnesota took it. Because if Atlanta took that match right there, Atlanta goes to the finals. Just that map right there.
That's what it was. That close. You got to win it.
Yeah, it's now I'm looking forward to the Minnesota and Atlanta's like matchups in the future.
It's like a rivalry now.
Yeah, because Minnesota has shown they can play with them, and nobody else has shown that they can play with FaZe, really.
Right.
Except for Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, until we get a Huntsman match off.
Yeah, until we get that one.
I mean, that's what everybody wanted in Atlanta, but you got to beat Florida to get there.
Yeah, and they didn't do it. So frustrating.
The Pristini effect.
Yeah. The hot man.
That's right. It works, apparently.
Yeah. And then we get into the finals, which is Dallas and Minnesota.
I was confident in Dallas, but I thought Minnesota could do it.
Yeah, it was. I remember this was the match that Dallas won the first 2 maps, and I sent you a DM and I said Minnesota's about to reverse sweep.
Minnesota's coming back. Yep.
I said Minnesota's about to reverse sweep, and they won the domination. Barely won the hard point by 3 points.
Hey, talk to Atlanta about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then they came in the search and got beat 6-2.
And they got beat 6-2. I think it was a closer search than the score really said, but
yeah,
6-2 is a 6-2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that search, it kept coming down to 1v1s.
Yeah.
Like over and over.
Over and over. 1v1, 1v2s, different things like that. I think there was one moment where and I'm recalling a moment. I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was in the finals. So never mind. But yeah, there was a lot of, it felt like a lot of 1v2s, 1v1s.
Yeah.
Throughout that entire thing. It just, they just couldn't get it to fall their way.
Yeah. But I was kind of excited for Dallas to win just because they have been getting a lot of criticism because they came into the Minnesota launch weekend and they played the two best teams and they lost both of them, and people were like, "Oh, Dallas isn't as good as people thought they were."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "You played the best two teams. It's kind of hard to judge off of that."
You lost to the best two teams as well,
I mean,
though.
yeah,
And you didn't look good doing it.
no, they
So
didn't.
I think Dallas is definitely better than people give them credit for. But I also have a hard time sitting here and really glorifying their win when FaZe had already beat them and the Huntsmen weren't there.
Yep.
So,
And that's another thing with those stupid bye week things.
right. It's
Like,
just like, hey, you technically already lost to the team that people consider the best team. You
yeah,
already lost. It was
and
done.
that'll always be the talking point with how these bye weekends go. Is people were like, "Oh yeah, Dallas won, but Chicago wasn't there. The Huntsmen weren't there."
Right.
Like, no, they weren't there, but they won.
Until we
So
get like the Gorillas and the Subliners are the only two that are not showing up. It's just like,
right,
all right, we got a tournament.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Until you had the worst two teams out, it's
Exactly.
But I was happy for Dallas to win that.
I'm okay with Dallas winning that. I don't know about.
I'm not a big Dallas fan, but I was just happy for mainly for Illy and Shotzi just to be like, okay, no. They got recruited by the two veterans in Clay and Krim, and they kind of showed themselves. Because I even said when we did the last podcast, if Dallas wants to win, then those two have to show up.
Yeah, because they got to freaking help.
Yeah.
But Shotzi was just MIA.
Yeah, for the
Terrible.
first two tournaments they played, he was nowhere, which is weird because he's a freaking Halo champion.
Oh, I didn't say he couldn't play.
The dude knows how to win.
Well, I don't know where he went. And those, we're always going to look back on him and say, you're that guy that got 7 kills on a domination.
Yeah, that'll forever be in his mind.
It's like it's going to take a minute for you to come back from that.
Yeah. But so we got, let's see, first, what was the first tournament? God, I can't even think.
It was the Rokers in Minnesota.
Yeah, that wasn't a tournament though.
Yeah, it was the next one was London.
Chicago took London.
Mm-hmm.
In Atlanta, FaZe took their home. And then in LA, Dallas took it.
Yeah.
So we have anybody that watches the Call of Duty League knows that those three teams are the best three. Not because they won, but because of how they've played and who's on their team and stuff like that. We can say those are the three best teams. I think we can agree on that.
I think that's technically fair. I have, after second, my list kind of drops off a little bit, but I'm not scared to put Dallas in third.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I want to know what happens after this. Do one of those three repeat another championship, or does somebody rise to the occasion and take one? Does Minnesota just rise to the occasion and take one? Or
I don't know. The Huntsmen are going to be back. The Huntsmen are off their bye. There's no more buys out of FaZe. Dallas is on a bye, I think.
Well, we don't know because this whole coronavirus thing, they have canceled future tournaments.
Yeah, but they're online, supposedly.
They haven't announced when they're going to be or how the format is going to go.
If they're online, I'm going to give Dallas a hell of a lot more chances to win. They got some serious internet in Dallas.
Exactly, and that is one thing that I think will be really freaking annoying when this goes to online is everybody's going to be like, oh well, such and such has the better internet, and this
Gotta go find that
person,
Google Fiber, man.
yeah, this person was lagging around the map, so they were non-existent. Like, it's going to be so many excuses on why people haven't performed or why somebody lost.
Right.
And I think that's why they haven't announced anything yet. I think they said they came out and was like, "Yeah, we're going to online, but we're not going to announce when yet." And I think they're just kind of waiting this out to see if the whole coronavirus
It's
gets
not going away,
worse
dude.
or
It's not going
whatever.
away. We got like 5 months of this left, I feel like.
I hope not, but so it's going online. I don't know how I feel about it.
I just want it to come back. You know,
Yeah,
give us something to get. Like, all the other sports are canceled, man. You can at least play Call of Duty in your bedroom, or your I don't know how many other teams have like a setup kind of like what Hex did with Optic, where they're all in the same room kind of thing. I get them all together or something like that, and like if five
Yeah.
people in a room play some Call of Duty and let's watch it. Come on.
I want to watch something because I've been lonely without it.
I know, right?
I want to watch some matches, especially after Dallas took this one because top three have taken a tournament. I want to see what happens next. Like,
Right. Who is the champ?
yeah, who comes up next? Like, is somebody else going to take it, or is it going to be a repeat of one of these three?
We may never know.
Yeah, they haven't announced dates or times or anything like that. So, like, if you go to their website, it literally says, the Call of Duty League 2020 season continues. Online Call of Duty matches will be broadcast live on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to tune in live and see more from Call of Duty. Dates and times will be announced shortly. Please check back for updates. And
it's just going to be interesting because they got to get everybody loaded into a lobby.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it'll be interesting. What if somebody gets hit offline?
Yeah, exactly. There's
what if somebody like just some terrible kid with nothing to do just hits off some of the players during the match? Who knows?
Yeah, imagine if somebody just lags out during a match or something. Like,
could be.
I just don't know. I mean, they could.
I think it'd make it so freaking interesting, dude. I'm for it.
It will make it interesting, no doubt.
Nope. Pause it. Looks like we lost TJ.
Yeah, but like, I can't wait to see like the Gorillas play. Gorillas lose to New York, the god awful team New York is, and Aches typing on Twitter furiously. I was lagging the whole match. Why are we even playing online?
Hey, don't either get paid or don't get paid, dude. It's your choice.
I mean, I'm excited to. I don't know if I'm excited is probably not the right word to see what happens.
I just wanted to make a decision.
Yeah, that too. I want more. But so we don't really know when this next podcast is going to be coming because we can't talk about predictions for the next one because we don't know who's playing. We don't know if there is a next one. So I don't know. We don't know. We will hit you with another one sometime at some point with
maybe we'll do a thing on like Warzone or something.
Yeah. I mean,
do a conversation on the game itself.
Yeah, we could do that. But you will see another one from us. When that will be, we're not 100%. So, but I appreciate everybody tuning in today, listening to us rant about random shit. But stay tuned for the next one. Like I said, we don't know when that will be, but we thank you for watching and peace out, guys.
Cheers.